She was standing at the altar. Music playing. Guests smiling. And then my daughter looked straight at me, reached into her bouquet, and slipped me a folded note that read, "Dad, help me. Please." In that moment, I knew this wedding was about to turn into something no one would ever forget. If you've ever felt powerless watching someone you love suffer, if you've ever wished you could step in and make things right, then hit that like button, subscribe, and brace yourself. Because this story delivers justice in the most unexpected way. My name is Emily Carter, and this is the story of the day my father saved me, not with violence, not with shouting, but with the most perfectly timed revenge I've ever witnessed. From the outside, my wedding day looked perfect. The church was filled with soft white roses. Sunlight streamed through stained glass, painting the floor in warm colors. The guests whispered excitedly, "Cameras ready." But inside my chest, my heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was trying to escape. Because I wasn't marrying the man everyone thought I was. Ethan, my fiancé, was charming in public. Handsome. Confident. Well-spoken. People adored him. What they didn't see were the quiet humiliations. The jokes disguised as concern. The way he corrected me in front of others. The way every decision somehow became his decision. It started small. "Are you sure you can handle that? I'll take care of the finances, you're too emotional. You're lucky I'm patient with you." I told myself it was stress. Wedding pressure. Normal relationship bumps. But deep down, I felt myself shrinking. 2 weeks before the wedding, I overheard him on the phone. Laughing. Talking to his friends about how marrying me meant my father's connections, my family's money, and how I'd calm down once I was locked in. Locked in. Those words echoed in my head for days. When I confronted him, he smiled, that same polished smile, and said, "You're imagining things. You're too sensitive." Gaslighting. Control. Dismissal. And yet, I still walked down that aisle. Not because I was weak, but because I had a plan. As my father stood up from his seat, pride shining in his eyes, I felt my throat tighten. This man had taught me to ride a bike, to stand up for myself, to never let anyone silence me. As he hugged me, I slid the note into his hand. "Dad, help me." His body stiffened. I felt it instantly. But he didn't say a word. Didn't ask a question. Just nodded, once. That nod told me everything. Later, he told me what went through his mind. He said his chest burned. His hands shook. Every instinct screamed to grab me and walk out. But instead, he stayed calm. Because real revenge doesn't explode. It unfolds. Ethan smirked, confident. Certain he had won. The vows began. When it was time for my father to give his speech at the reception, he stood up slowly, adjusting his tie. The room went quiet. "My daughter Emily," he began, voice steady, "has always been strong. Stronger than she realizes." Ethan smiled proudly. "Big mistake." My father reached into his pocket and pulled out the note. The room shifted. I was handed this moments before walking my daughter down the aisle. A murmur rippled through the guests. He unfolded it and read it aloud. "Dad, help me." Dead silence. Ethan's smile vanished. Color drained from his face. My father didn't shout. Didn't accuse. He simply told stories. Stories of how I'd changed. How I'd grown quieter. How confidence had turned into hesitation. Then he looked directly at Ethan. "And any man who makes my daughter feel small does not deserve her. Gasps. Whispers. Phones discreetly recording. Then came the masterstroke. My father revealed that the house Ethan bragged about. Not his. The business investment. Conditional. The financial safety net Ethan relied on. Gone? Effective immediately, my father said calmly. I'm withdrawing all support. Ethan stood up, panicked. You can't do this, he hissed. My father smiled. I already have. I stood up. My hands weren't shaking anymore. I took off my ring, placed it gently on the table, and walked toward my father. The room erupted. Shock. Applause. Whispers of admiration. Ethan was left standing alone, exposed, powerless, humiliated. That day didn't end with a honeymoon. It ended with freedom. Relief washed over me like fresh air after being underwater too long. My father hugged me and whispered, "You're safe." Revenge doesn't always look like destruction. Sometimes it looks like truth, timing, and walking away with your dignity intact. I learned that day that love should never feel like a cage. And real justice doesn't scream, it speaks clearly and walks away. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying moment of justice you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more emotionally powerful revenge stories like this. Because sometimes, karma wears a suit and gives a speech.